Ladies and gentlemen, we always talk about how hot we feel and how humid the temperature and the heat index, but we forget that every time the environment heats up, so does the water around us. That gets hotter too. And it actually is bad, especially for sea life, because the more warmer the water is, the less oxygen is in the water. And not only that, there's more toxins in the water when it's hot. So it's not really good for the sea life when the temperatures go up. And you'll also notice a lot of times these animals are beaching themselves, especially whales. And it has a lot to do with ocean temperature and toxins in the water. And people are trying to push them back out there. Sometimes that's not really the best thing for them. But this story came out July 23rd, 2019. In hot water, the Potomac River sets a record high temperature of 94 degrees in recent heat wave. Ladies and gentlemen, they didn't start measuring the water temperature until 2008. Yes, we've been here all this time. Nobody thought about this until 2008. So you're not going to see any comparisons to the 60s or 50s because they simply don't have it. So this is the Washington Post. The 12-day heat wave that just ended in Washington turned the Potomac River to a veritable bath water. Yeah, yeah, that is bath water temperature, but not necessarily the best thing for you to get in, because if you notice, the water temperatures are higher, and so is the flesh-eating bacteria that's going on right now. On the river at Little Falls Sundays, 93.7 degrees, reading 4.1 feet from the shoreline, is the highest on record in that location by a half degree and almost 10 degrees hotter than the average 84.2 degrees. That temperature tops the highest mark of 93.2 degrees set in 2011 and 2012, two of Washington's hottest summers on record. So they're just showing you the water measurements in these charts. Yeah. While the nearly 94-degree water temperature measurement is eye opening, the period of record for these measurements is rather short, dating to 2008. That said, it coincides with five of Washington's six hottest years on record, dating back to 1871. So, I mean, look, it just makes sense. If the environment is hot, the water's going to be hotter too. The Potomac River temperatures observed at other locations were also much higher than normal, but were not quite as hot as measured in 2011. During this year's heat wave, water temperatures in the Chesapeake Bay also surged to abnormally high levels and rising well into the 80s to around 90. Wow. Such high temperatures can be detrimental to water quality and aquatic life. Warm water holds less dissolved oxygen than cool water and may contain enough dissolved oxygen for survival of different species of aquatic life. Yeah, I would imagine it would definitely impact, the life that's in that water. Some compounds are also more toxic to aquatic life at higher temperatures. And you know what? That is something that we don't think about. Now, this was very interesting. It says, like, when the water temperatures are higher, there's increased pathogens, nutrients, invasive species, and you have and just think about that. We had the blue green algae this year, and they said that is very toxic water. And it was like around the Mississippi River area. They had that blue green toxic algae bloom. And if you also remember, for 14 months down in Florida, you had red tide, and that killed a lot of sea life around in that area. So, you don't even think about that might have a lot to do with the water being warm around in that area. And remember, that's how hurricanes are fueled. They are fueled from the warm water. And you know what? And I'm just thinking right now, my mind is really thinking, it didn't dawn on me that maybe that's why we're having these horrible rainstorms, because the water temperatures around here are just much warmer. And I didn't think about that until I started reading this article, because we have had some treacherous storms, and I haven't looked at any measurements of the water around here, which I bet my last dollar that the temperatures around my state, the waters are very warm. And I'm just thinking it could be fueling all of these bad storms we're having. Okay, so as if the air wasn't hot enough, the steamy water pushed humidity levels through the roof along adjacent shores. The heat index, a measurement of how hot it feels factoring in the humidity, topped out as high as 115 to 120 degrees near the water edge. Yeah, our index went up to 116. Yeah, it's crazy. Relentless heat over the past 4 weeks pushed water temperatures as high. Okay, let me just look. So they're talking about the maximum temperatures that they measured was July 11th and through the 22nd. And that's this year they're talking about. And you can see the land temperature in this chart. So you can imagine what the water temperature was between the 11th and the 22nd, as they're saying. So Washington hit 99 degrees while many locations in the region reached 100. Yeah. All right. From June 25th to July 22nd, 23 days hit at least 90 degrees. Only 1977 saw more days, 24, that hot, hot weather in that same time frame. Wow. For some additional perspective, 23 days at or above 90 degrees in 4 weeks is more than the most on record for June. Yeah, well, they said July is probably going to be another record breaking month this year. And in the neighborhood of the July record, 25 days in 2011. 12 days in a row of 90 degrees or hotter weather to conclude this stretch, including 5 days at 95 or higher, with lengthy but 3 days more than average longest such streak each summer. And I'm predicting it's going to get even longer. You know, things are definitely changing out here, y'all. And I believe it won't be just my state. It's going to be a lot more states going through these type of power outages because look, these power grids in America are old. They're old and they don't update them. What they do is just kind of slap a band-aid on the problem and just keep going. And it's making the situation worse. Unfortunately, I read an article and it was in the local paper how old these power grids are, and they're really not in the best of shape, y'all. It would be easy for somebody to do some type of attack and take out the power across America. That's how weak these power grids are. And, and I believe it. I really believe it. Longer streaks occurred as recently as 2016, 13 days. And 1980 and 1988 struggled together a record 21 straight days of 90-degree weather. All right, so 90-degree days in Washington through the 22nd. So you can see that on the chart. Wow. Washington has now reached at least 90 on 31 days this year, almost a month ahead of normal. The 31 days ranks as the sixth most year to date. Just 5 more 90-degree days are needed for Washington to match its 1981 to 2010 annual average of 36. Well, you might get your wish because we're going back into a heat wave next week, y'all. While the next several days should remain below 90 degrees, the odds of such hot weather returning increases this weekend to early next week. So this is, wow. Yeah, wow. Because I know we start back in the 90s Monday, and it's already said it's going to be 3 days in a row of 90 degrees, but it could be more than that, because last week they told us the heat wave would end on Saturday. It didn't end for us until Monday. Monday was the last. uh Monday went up to, I'm trying to think, I think 99, somewhere around there, about 100. So no, I'm sorry, Monday was 94 degrees for us. We were 100 both Saturday and Sunday. And like I said, it's going to be more strain on the power grid because everybody needs to run all of that air conditioning. And I'm sorry, but that's what we're paying the price for now, you know? And it's just a matter of time before this start hitting in other states. But ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.